Welcome to the Hartley Show. Today we're going to talk about Grant Morrison and his DC books, but first I'd like to, of course, say hello to Shannon Archibald of Taz Comics, who helps make this possible. Hello, Shannon. And, of course, Troy Rudolph over here, who's filling in for Carlo Fanella, operating the B-cam with his sexy vest and poses. And I'm just going to shut up and talk about Grant Morrison now. First off, I'm going to start off with Batman Inc., Batman Incorporated. A fantastic book, one of my favorite comics going right now, and ever since he's introduced the whole concept. In a nutshell, what you've got here is Batman had been dead for a while, and Dick Grayson filled in as Batman for a while. When Batman came back from death, which wasn't really death, obviously, what he did was he came up with this concept where Bruce Wayne announces to the whole world that he's the guy who funds Batman. Wonder who's paying for all those cool toys? Bruce Wayne is. And he sets up this notion of Batman Inc., where he's subsidizing superheroes around the globe and funding them as Batman operatives. This is where characters like Batwing came from, Night Runner, the French Muslim character that pissed off a whole bunch of people, because apparently if you want to get people angry, you just have to introduce a Muslim. Way to be sensitive, world. And of course, he's got all these bat robots that he's created and so on and so forth. This is a fantastic book. The art starts off with a Yannick Paquet. I'm sure I'm saying his name incorrectly. I almost just called it his nom. And then it continues on with the second artist, Chris Burnham, who is just fantastic. I love this guy. And one of the coolest things about what Grant Morrison is getting to do here, and this page is a perfect example of it, is he's getting to continue on with characters like this that don't exist currently in the modern DC universe. For whatever reason, in the new 52, Grant Morrison gets to do whatever the hell he wants. They've got this weird thing going on with the last version of Batgirl, not the Barbara Gordon version of Batgirl, the Stephanie Brown Batgirl. And there she is right there. And this one shot that's the tail end of this particular trade that led into the new 52 take on this book introduced Stephanie Brown when she wasn't part of the DCU anymore, and a lot of Stephanie Brown fans have been upset because they've just completely erased her from DC continuity entirely. But they actually, the last the last time we saw her was sort of in current continuity because of this. A fantastic, fantastic read. And the main theme of the book, and these are the Batbots that Bruce Wayne has also commissioned that are all over Gotham City and whatnot. The main theme of this book, or the main storyline, has been about this sort of overarching evil empire by the name of Leviathan. And just recently in the current series, they've started to, we know now who the evil machinator bad guy is behind Leviathan. I won't tell you who it is, but a fantastic, fantastic read. And I love this guy, this Chris Burnham. I think is just one of the best new artists going. And one of the main themes in the book, too, is that they've taken all these characters, the international Batman, and they've incorporated them all in the book. You've got right here the Native American Batman, and you've got the UK Batman, the Spanish Batman, and so on and so forth. Just a great, great read, and Grant Morrison is a frickin' genius.
10:30. Go!
Youngblood number 75. Surprisingly good, probably because Rob Liefeld has nothing to do with it. Red Lanterns number 15. Not so bad. Superman number 15, pretty damn good stuff. Kenneth Rocafort kicks ass. Justice League Dark number 15. The art on the inside is much better than the outside, and the story is fantastic. Justice League number 15, the first part of the Atlantis story arc, pretty damn good. I'm loving Justice League. Thunderbolts, yeah, pretty boring. This Avengers and then, of course, you've got the reintroduction of Superman by Grant Morrison, which blew my mind. As you may notice, Superman has a totally different look now. This is the look that he first starts off with, Superman in the jeans and t-shirt look. On the back cover here, you can see Superman in his modern armored look with the costume and all that, where he no longer has yellow undies or red undies on the outside. Yellow undies on the outside. God, that would have been awful. Just awful. Even worse than red undies. Now, a lot of people are pissed off about this notion of Superman without red underwear on the outside. But as a guy whose favorite character has been Superman since before he could read, me, I'm totally thrilled. The idea of red undies on the outside made sense in 1938 when the characters that wore stuff like that were wearing tights that, would show whether you were circumcised or not. That made sense that you'd want to cover that stuff up. Anyways, one of the best things about what Grant Morrison is doing with Superman in Action Comics is much similar to what he's doing with Batman in Batman Inc. That he's setting up the future of Batman stories, and he's incorporating all of Superman's past that he's making up as he's going along in the book. So it covers a big time span of Superman as a kid growing up, Superman in the current state, and, you know, everything in between, essentially. The only problem with this book isn't actually with this book, in my opinion. It's with the other Superman appearances, that the rest of DC hasn't really, you know, the past of Superman hasn't been set. He's writing it as he's going along, so other writers that have to try and figure out what's going on with Superman currently are kind of stumbling along, have been stumbling along, trying to sort of match up with maybe what has happened and what hasn't. It's been a little difficult, but Morrison's nailing it. Unfortunately, his series ends, I believe, about in a month from now with issue 16, but he's ramping up this great Mixiospitalic sort of story arc. It's been absolutely fantastic and remarkable, and I can hardly recommend a book more. I should also point out that this reads way better in hardcover format in the collected edition than it does in single issues. That when they produced this originally, it was supposed to be one consecutive story arc, but his first artist got slowed down, and so he had to come up with another story arc in the middle of the story arc that this covers, and this has it. The hardcover has it organized in sequential order the way it was originally intended. Whereas if you were buying it monthly, it became a little difficult to read because there was 4 issues or 3 issues in between of the main story arc. So I got to say, it reads far better like this than it does on a month-to-month basis. No offense to monthly readers, I'm one of them myself, but definitely far better. So there you have it. Grant Morrison, one of my favorite writers of all time, producing some fantastic stuff at DC with Action Comics and Batman Inc. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching and thank Taz Comics for hosting and Troy Rudolph for helping out today. Bye.